Up to this point, we have created our testing servers on our local computer and configured our live production server with a cloud hosting provider. In this section of the course, we will show you how to use an FTP agent to transfer files from your local web directory to your production server. The FTP agent will be using his FileZilla to download. FileZilla will be the web page shown below. When you are on the website, select the download that corresponds to your computing system. Since I am a 64-bit machine, I will download the first option here. Since I am 64-bit Windows machine, I will download the first option here. Once your file has finished downloading, move the set of the file on your desktop and run the file. If you are a Windows platform and you do get an error when you try to run the setup file, just right click and make sure you select the run as administrator. You need administrating privileges to run this to execute the setup file. Once the setup of the interface is open, you will be prompted to agree to the license agreement. Just go ahead and click I agree. Since I have already installed the files on this computer, I have been prompted to reinstall the software in your case. Assuming you don't already have it installed, make sure you select the install option and click next. Set which user will have access to file on your computer. When prompted to choose the component to install, place the check mark in all of them including the last check mark. This will create a shortcut on your desktop that will be using to access the program. Now select the folder where your program files are stored. Typically the program file directory, then click next. Now click install and program will be automatically installed into your computer. With the FileZilla installed, open the program by clicking on the shortcut icon that was created during installation. The FileZilla interface is divided into different sections. On the left side, we can see the file and folder on your local computer. This makes it easy to browse for specific file that we need to upload to our server. Since we have not established a connection to our production server, just the area on the top and the right side will be blank. We will go over there in just a moment. At the top of the interface, we have our main menu. We also have a set of shortcut icons and also a quick connect bar. The first step in uploading a file or folder to a production server is to create a connection configuration. To do so, click the File menu and select the Site Manager. The Site Manager allows us to store multiple connection configurations. This is useful if you work with many different websites stored on the different server. You can see here that we have a 6 different configuration setup. If this is your first time working with FileZilla, you don't have any. Create a connection, click on the new site. Now give your connection to named element to the server you are connecting to. That will help keep your entries organized. Let's go ahead and call this alien all. On the right hand side, we need to configure some parameter pertaining to this connection. First, we need to provide a host name. This is the IP address for the server. To get your IP address, log into your Linode account and copy the IP address corresponding to MySQL node server we created earlier. Now paste it into the host text field. Make sure you remove any unnecessary spaces from pasting. Leave the port empty so far. We'll just use the default FTP port. Set the port to the SMTP file. The file transfer protocol is much more secure than the AWS file transfer protocol. For logon type, select key file. You will recall that earlier in this call, we generated a clip here to establish the SS connection to our production server using PUD or terminal if you are on a Mac. We will need to load the private key which we saved on our desktop. So click the browse button and on your desktop, open the keys folder and load the private PPK file. Once that loaded type Bob for the username since that's only the user we have set up on the server. With our configuration setting complete, we can now connect to the server. To do so, just click the connection. We will be prompted to enter your paraphrase. Remember, we set up when we created our key here earlier in this course. So enter your password and OK. With their connection established, you will see that right side of our interface now shows the file and folder on our web server. For me, it is the C drive and then in the swap directory and then W. It should be the same for you as well. If you no longer have the test file we created earlier in your web root folder, we have a copy available in the download folder corresponding to this lesson. Top area of the interface shows a text summary of all the action we are performing as a part of this session. For example, connecting, uploading, listing directory and so on. We will need to navigate our ways to HTML directory on our production server because that's where all our web files need to upload it to. To navigate, we can either do it through the folder listing here. So remember our web directory in the VA folder, and beside there is the Word folder and then Gmail. So you can do it the way or a quick way to do just to type in the location info into this text field and press enter, and that's it will take to the same place. So we can now see the default index on the HTML file in here. I remember this is a paid download when we type our domain name or IP address into the web browser. So this is the domain name I registered earlier on this course. And so if you have not registered the domain name, you can access your page by plugging into your IP address and it will pull up the same things. The only file you will have in here index like the HTML file. I'm going to delete the test file because there is something done earlier. We have a test file in our www folder on our local machine. So in your web root folder, navigate your way to the root folder. We have a copy available in the download folder corresponding to this lesson. So simply copy it into the web root folder. If that is the case, let's upload this file to our server. So we have access it online. Drag the file from your local computer to this server. You will see that the file icon will appear underneath your index HTML file. This tells us that the file was uploaded properly. If you do not see it, right click on the server side and click the reflex one. If you don't see it, right click on the server side and select the refresh one. We can test to make sure that this works properly by accessing the test file in our web browser. So right after your domain name or IP address, type up slash and then test and you should see the text hello world displayed in your web browser. We can use the FileZilla to perform many different tasks on our server. For example, to delete a file, right click on the file and select the delete option. You can also rename, copy and create new files from the same menu. The bottom three tabs provide us with valuable information regarding our upload. If any transfer has failed, we can see a list of them in the failed transfer tab. Similarly, we can see the successful transfer in the unsuccessful transfer tab. Similarly, we can see the successful transfer in the successful transfers tab. The Qt tab contains any files that are currently in the queue for uploading to downloading. The Q tab contains any files that are currently in queuing for uploading or downloading. To delete a site from the site manager, go to the file menu and select site manager. Now click on the entry that you want to modify or delete and use the button below to perform your desired action. You can rename, delete, duplicate and so on. Once you have finished working with FileZilla, you just exit this menu. Disconnect from the server by clicking this button here. Disconnect from the server by clicking this button here. After you have disconnect, close the program.
Like, subscribe and press the bell icon of GetSitement for future updates.